led by the Holy Spirit because I had no idea how much money was made in child care. But there's no caps when you're an entrepreneur. So, let me read you because since we're talking about debt, it is Psalms 120 and 1. It says, "In my distress, I cried unto the Lord. And you know what? He heard me." Now, I can say that that is true for me. Many nights being an entrepreneur, I've had to cry and wonder where my next income was coming from, because I did not go to school. And I did marry, but it didn't work out. So it was up on me to take care of my children. And I ended up taking in my brother's child, and my cousin passed away early, so I ended up taking care of her 2 children. So I had 6 kids, 3 girls and 3 boys. And I tell you, I ran into some challenges, and I spent many of days dealing with debt. But today, I cry unto the Lord. And I say, "Lord, I need help." That's what the word says. I need help. And it talks about how the debt is piling up higher and higher. This writer is saying that it's getting out of control. And I could relate because, like I said, I'm trying to pay down credit cards. For the past 5 years, it's been a whirlwind because my kids were graduating. Either graduating high school, graduating college. One year we had graduation from high school and college same year. We've had babies being born within the last 5 years too. We've had weddings. I mean, it's been going, and my husband and I have been traveling because we just wanted to get it in whenever we could, But this year I've stayed home trying to work on my finances, my body, and my home. So I can tell you about debt mounting up. And it says, the writer says, "Show me creative ways to pay it off." Now, let me tell you what's so funny about that. Because I started early and I'm trying to find out who I am and what gifts and talents that I have, when you're raising a family, you do what you have to do. Now I'm learning God has blessed me with the time to do what I enjoy. And I don't have a desire to do anything if it doesn't include His glory. So I asked the Lord, well, what do I enjoy doing? Everything I enjoy doing, it was surrounded by the kids, their sports, their music, and their dances, and their whatever it was with the children. That's what I enjoyed, and I'm telling you, I really enjoyed it. But they're grown and have their own life, and they're blessed. So now I have to figure out what creative ways I can earn money. I mean, like I said, I have debt to pay off, and because it's not easy putting children through college, or even when they're not in college, just being out on their own, they still need you. I've still called my mother for help every now and then. So, creative ways. Now, one thing that I've done, okay, so I'll tell you this. I know that I think I like to sew. I did when I was in school. I enjoyed it. I asked my mom to teach me how to sew, but she doesn't live here. So when she was here visiting one year, she did teach me. I mean, it was a quick lesson because she wasn't here very long. And we made a dress. Actually, she started me on the dress and I finished the dress while she was gone. But it was not easy. And if you ask me to do it again, I can't. I just don't even remember I learned that sewing has its own language, And when I was reading, like, put this with that, and you need these special things. And I was like, well, what is this? I don't even know what this is. So how can I put it with with the thread? You know, so I'm stuck where that is. But I think I enjoy that, or would enjoy that. So at the beginning of the year, I found out that our library has sewing class. Well, I prayed first because I said, Lord, this is something that I want to do this year. You know, every year I have a list of things that I put on my vision board because I want to do these things. These are the things I want to conquer this year. So, and actually the reason I wanted to learn to sew is because I wanted to be a blessing. I wanted to be able to make my own curtains, or get good enough to sew a shirt for someone for their birthday, or anything, you know, make a cute little purse for somebody, or for myself, you know. Anyways, I learned at the library they do classes, but I didn't take into consideration my surgery. I had a foot surgery, and I was out for a while. So with that being said, I was laid up for at least 6 months, 6 to 8 months. I mean, just out of commission. So I wasn't able to drive myself to the sewing classes. So, but I do intend to pick up sewing again. That would be one creative way. But I've dedicated one of the rooms to be my glam room. Because one thing I know for sure is I'm into my hair. It's my crown and my glory, and I enjoy teaching on natural hair. And so I have a room now where I have a makeup station, and I have a hair station, and I have a creative arts station. The funny part is I didn't start with the makeup. I didn't start with the hair. I started with the creative part, and I am so enjoying it. I've taken little bottles and I recycled them. Upcycled is what it's called. Upcycled, decorated, and they're going to be beautiful gifts for somebody, or decorations for my home. One day I'm going to show y'all. But these are creative ways that I feel like the Lord has blessed me, because they're turning out well. And like I said, I didn't know I knew how to do things like that. But in my city, in the fall, they block off downtown, and they have a certain hour in the evening that you can sell items down there. Everyone goes down there and you buy and you sell. But here's the thing. You can't just go down there and sell t-shirts, It has to be something that you've made. And I thought that was awesome. I was like, wow, but what do I know how to do? So this year, God blessed me to be able to do some things. One of the things is the upcycled bottles that I have. And I'm going to show y'all one of the videos. And I'm going to be down. Well, it's my intention. I will say that if the Lord wills it, I'll be down there selling. And that will be one of the creative ways that I'll be able to pay off some debt. It says, it asks the Lord to help me to save and to spend with wisdom. Now, let's be real. We have to spend money. Money is made to spend, but we have to be wise about it. And so, where I didn't really care the past couple of days for our birthdays, I'm back on track. And normally I ask the Lord when I'm shopping, stretch my dollar. Help me not to get nothing, before I even start, help me not to get anything that I really don't need. And even when I go shopping, I have to look back in the cart and say, do you need this? You sure? Is this a want or a need? Do you really need this? Now, I get my wants too now, but I can't have 50% of the basket wants. I got to make sure all my needs are there first. And then he blesses me to have enough. And that all comes, I believe, from paying my tithes, because the numbers don't add up. But somehow I'm always able to get my needs and wants met. Then the writer says, I asked for the resource to pay down my credit cards, my loans, and other debts. There could be school loans, car loans. Now I remember asking the Lord a couple of years ago, I said, I don't want any debt because I really struggled being a single mom for those couple of years. And I told the Lord, I'm tired of worrying about somebody coming, looking out the window and seeing if they're going to come and repossess my car. I'm tired of worrying about stuff like that. So I made up in my mind. When I bought my van, I said, I'm going to pay this off. And within 16 months, I paid that van off. Thank you, Lord. But what I learned also is it didn't help my credit because it was too soon. They actually want you to show a history of paying on time. But I paid that van off. And ever since then, I've always got cars that were paid off. My husband, when we moved out here, he decided he was going to buy me a car. I told him, okay, but I don't mind waiting. I'll ride in this car right here until, I can get me a car that's paid for off the lot. And you know what? He did just that. Took me to the lot. I chose my car, paid cash off the lot. Now his, he had to end up getting, a loan for, because we just couldn't get paid two in cash. We just didn't have it like that. But, and it does help you build your credit when you do have a loan. So some loans are good, but don't hold on to them loans. Don't be the borrower. Sometimes it's good to be the lender. The writer says, show me where I can cut back on spending so I'll have more funds available. Goes back to that grocery cart. I look in there and I'm like, do I need this? A lot of times I have a lot of the same things. So we have to decipher, is this a need? Is it a want? Is this a cutback? Some things you're not going to be able to cut back on. Period, the end. You need this. Write it into your budget. For example, I don't want nobody to really give me gifts anymore. You know what I want? I want a housekeeper. I want somebody to help me keep my house because of my physical issues. I need someone to help me keep my house the way I like my house kept. And it's wearing me out. And I'm not able to do it the way I like it done. So that's going to be written into the budget. And my husband said the same thing. He said, okay, that's fine with me. Make sure that it's going to be able to be in the budget. Figure out how many times you want her to come and how much it's going to cost and if it's going to fit in the budget. So that's sometimes you got to figure out what's a need and what can wait. The writer says, Lord, please clean up this mess for me I've created. That was so funny to me when I read that because a lot of times it's us. We're getting ourselves into this situation, the situations that we're in. My husband often talks about me shopping, and truth is, I really don't shop that much. And when